This is Crystal Storm with Invest Comics, and we have a very, very, very special guest today. We are talking to Darren Davis. He's an American independent comic book publisher. He's a writer, and he is currently the head of Bluewater Productions. What's up, Darren?
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you.
You too. How's the weather where you're at?
It's actually sunny. I live in kind of about 15 minutes from downtown Portland, Oregon, and it's completely sunny. It's amazing. So, are you on the East Coast, I'm guessing? I know. You're frozen, aren't you?
No. I'm in New Orleans, actually, so it's okay. It's just rainy, but the cold front's like coming in, and we're not happy about it.
New Orleans.
Yes. It's a fun town. But we are here to talk about you, and that's what we're going to do. So tell us, because you've got a really, I know, that's fun. You have a really awesome history. You've got a really fun Wikipedia entry. I don't know, do you ever read those things?
Wikipedia, yeah. From what I've learned is that Wikipedia, I didn't do it, so who knows what's true and what's not true. So.
Nice. Well, we'll try to verify a few things today.
Okay.
So, give us your history. Like, how did you get started in the industry? You know, take us there from day one.
You know, I actually started from college. I got a job at E! Entertainment Television, and I worked there for about 5 years. I started off as an intern and ended up working there. Probably one of my favorite jobs to this day. I learned so much just from about marketing and advertising and celebrities and that type of stuff.
Right.
And it was just so much fun working there. And then from there, I left and went to like USA Networks and Lionsgate. And from every single job that I've worked at in the entertainment industry, I've kind of learned something pretty big from it. So like marketing and advertising and stuff. And then I was up for a job at, this is not known, but I was up for a job at Marvel, and then Marvel ended up filing a Chapter 11, and I kind of felt that, and then everybody basically got laid off that was basically about to hire me. And so, I know, and so I kind of fell through the cracks, and then they kind of redeveloped, and they're this huge company now, I think. So, but then DC Comics, and then actually Wildstorm, which was a big independent at the time, took a chance on me and ended up hiring me, and I ended up working for them for about a year and a half until DC Comics took over and bought Wildstorm. And so I worked for them for about 3 years.
Right.
And ended up really liking it. I was representing the artists like Jim Lee, Travis Terrest, some of the biggest names in the comic book industry, getting them jobs outside of comic books. And then DC Comics didn't really know what to do with me. And so after a year, I had a choice either to go edit comic books, which I wasn't willing to do, or, be laid off. And so I ended up just being laid off, and it was the best thing for me because I ended up taking all the custom stuff that I was doing, and I started doing it on my own. So I started representing, Adam Hughes and Joe Madureira, and like basically the top name people in the industry, Randy Green and all these Top Cow artists and stuff. And I started getting them jobs outside of comic books, and then I was watching these people create their own comic books, and I thought, hey, I could do that. I have the marketing background. I could do this. I can kind of put something together. So I hired an artist from Top Cow because I knew about the look that I wanted to go with. And then I hired Marv Wolfman to take what I created and script it. And Marv Wolfman is an icon. He's done like everything from Blade to the New Teen Titans, and he was one of my mentors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was really cool. So I launched a comic book in Image Comics called The 10th Muse, and that was about 10 years ago now. And it launched the 6th highest selling comic book. So that was pretty unheard of back in the day. So it was just pretty exciting. And yeah, it's all history from there. So all good history. And then I had a little stint at Wizard that I worked there for a little while, and I just didn't like it there.
Right.
And then I worked at and then I as I said, I started my own company, and then I decided to delve in it full time and do it. And so I stopped doing really the custom work, and I started doing more, developed like Legend of Isis, Atlas, and a bunch of other books, and published through other companies. And then about 4 years ago, I decided to self-publish, and been doing it now for 4 years.
Wow. So what promoted you to decide to self-publish? Was it just like kind of you looked around at the industry and was like, hey, I can do this too?
No, I don't want to do this. it kind of, I was sitting around with my family, and they said to me, because my publisher, which was Alias, ended up folding because they decided to go Christian, and my stuff really didn't fit into the Christian market. We were doing titles like Victoria's Secret Service and Judo Girl and all that stuff, and we really didn't fit in. So we were without a publisher, and so we ended up, just self-publishing.
Here's a riddle for you. What do the California gold rush of the 1850s, secret societies, coded messages, mysterious 19th century flying machines, and an early 20th century outside artist named Charles A.A. Delshaw all have in common? The Secrets of Delshaw by Dennis Crenshaw and Pete Navarro. Go to www.secretsofdelshaw.com to learn more.
Okay. So before we got disconnected here, I was asking you what promoted you to decide to self-publish. I was, no, my computer screen just froze. I'm going to disappear soon. What basically happened is I was sitting around with my family, and one of my publishers decided to go Christian. We didn't fit really into their world, so we decided to self-publish. And my business partner was saying, what would it take, and how do we do this? And so we contacted Diamond, which is the distributor, and we set up a deal with them. And really, it wasn't much different than what we were doing with these other publishers like Image and Avatar and, Alias. Right. Otherwise just dealing with printing. And so that was really the only big change with it. Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead. No, please go ahead.
Yeah, so there's no real big difference to us on, whether we were publishing or the other way around. Now it's a little bit different because we're into the book market, and it's now a totally different world, so...
Definitely. Are you running into any interesting challenges? Do you have some words of advice that you can share?
Alcohol. Yeah, but you have to be old enough, okay, people? My biggest advice is, if I could do it, anybody can do it, and just really be, be organized, be inattentive. It's all about being organized, to be honest. That's how I do it, so... Right. It's
Absolutely.
Not brain surgery, and and treat people with respect, I think, is a big thing too.
Absolutely. Well,
because I work with. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, I work with a lot of like artists and egos and that type of stuff, and you always have to make sure that they're taken care of. Even before I am, I want to make sure always that they're taken care of, and it's easier for me to just listen to them and work through their problems and stuff. So we're kind of a unique company in that sense that we really do try to work with people as much as possible. We work with people's schedules. We're very flexible. We really try to help people out in that way.
Definitely. So you'd say you formed a lot of awesome, lasting partnerships with a lot of your artists and writers?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's people that I still work with that I've worked with for 10 years. So it's pretty fortunate. So.
Definitely. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
All systems are functional.
And get past the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Soup Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
Welcome back with Invest Comics. We are talking to Darren Davis. We're having a great discussion. So, Darren, you've got these really awesome graphic novels on your site, and they're kind of like autobiographies. Can you kind of tell us how that got started? Because that's a very unique concept.
Yeah, we noticed that IDW, which is another publishing house, they were doing Barack Obama and John McCain, and with a lot of the comics that we do, we have done a lot of female-driven comic books that have female empowerment angles to it. We really do, like Legend of Isis and 10th Muse are very much very PC, and girls seem to gravitate towards them. So during the election, I kind of became obsessed with the last election, and more so than any other election that I've done. And I noticed how unfair Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton were being treated, as opposed to like John McCain and Barack Obama, you know, being commented on the clothes and like Sarah Palin's $150,000 wardrobe. And I just thought people were more focused on that than who they are. So my business partner and I, he said, why don't you do a Sarah Palin comic? And I'm like, no. And so we decided, after badgering back and forth, we decided, okay, let's do one. So we did Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton, and it was just kind of like a trial thing. We called it Female Force because we wanted to do it with a female empowerment angle to it. And just from there, they took off. I mean, it was like insane. I mean, it took off honestly, and I'm saying this honestly, more than we actually thought it would. We went through, I think, four printings on both books. And then at that point, we're like, well, let's just do this as a bi-monthly series. And we'll deal with like political women and that type of stuff. And so we did Michelle Obama, Caroline Kennedy. And the reason we picked Caroline Kennedy is because we wanted to, you know, tell these stories of women that you not necessarily would think we would tell a story of. So we wanted to do more than the who's the most popular person right now. And so we've been really fortunate with the series in that sense, because then Caroline Kennedy found out that there was a possibility that she was going to run for Senate and all this stuff and take Hillary Clinton's spot. So we hit it perfectly, and we've had a lot of luck through that time. And we've also had bad luck, because we also we launched a brother series, I guess, which was called Political Power, which is about people in politics. And we launched a Ted Kennedy comic. We announced it the week before, or the day before he died. And so everybody called us whores and bottom feeders, and so. And what are you supposed to do? I mean, there's nothing you can do, and you know, so it wasn't really fun. So, but I've gotten a thicker skin. I have gotten a thicker skin, so. It's all good. But yeah, with the Female Force series, then what we decided to do is, you know, not just really focus on women in politics, but we decided to feature, you know, just strong women who are making a difference in society, and different, you know, people like Condoleezza Rice, or, you know, Charlene Harris, who wrote True Blood, or I think we did Anne Rice, and we've done, you know, Barbara Walters. And some of the books that we've been doing, we've actually contacted these people, and we'll donate a percentage of the proceeds to a nonprofit of their choice. So with Barbara Walters, it's good and bad. So we worked with Ellen DeGeneres on her book, and we donated a percentage of the proceeds, and we also run ads. And so we did that for the Humane Society, and we ended up getting boycotted by this, I think it's the United States Huntsman Association, because they don't believe in, we got death threats. I mean, it was fun. So.
See, my next question would have been, what kind of feedback have you gotten from doing these, like, very political, in a sense, you know, comics? So, wow.
I'm a whore and I'm a bottom feeder. So that's honestly what people say. Well, that's what people look at us as like opportunists, and that we're, you know, I am the biggest marketing person in the world when it comes to, like, you know, when there's a Slurpee cup that comes out from the Batman movie, I am right there. And so I'm creating my own memorabilia, to be honest. I mean, and it's still fun for me to do this. The people that we're picking, you know, not only are we teaching people, but we're also, you know, we're also learning ourselves. You know, there was so much about Sarah Palin that I didn't know at the time. And, you know, I'm learning, and it's a neat feeling to have that.
Right. So what about the feedback from the actual people that you're basing the comics on? Have any of them, like, read this and was like, no way, forget it, don't you even, you know, were some of them like, yeah, this is really awesome, like, it's a bit kind of mixed?
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with it. If I can move the camera, I would actually show you. You know, we have we have signed copies of, you know, the Sarah Palin comic. We have signed copies from the Hillary Clinton comic that they both signed. You know, we got a call from Bill Clinton's assistant asking for copies of the Hillary Clinton comic when it came out, and we kept thinking to ourselves, well, why don't you go out and buy it yourself? You have the money, so and you know, we've had some, you know, we've gotten cease and desists, and you know, and those are so blown out of proportion. But, you know, it's their people trying to protect who they are, but we're within our First Amendment rights. And, you know, once they see what the book has done and what they are, everybody's been really happy with them. So even if they're not authorized, we've really, you know, tied into them.
Okay.
Yeah, like Betty White loved the book so much, so. We did want Betty White, by the way, so.
Did you show it to her, or did she kind of just find it and give you a call?
No, you know what it was? It was Access Hollywood premiered it to her, showed her the cover, and she loved it. She thought it was such a great idea. And then we teamed up with her to donate a percentage of the proceeds it's called GLAZA, which is the Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association. Mm-hmm. She's a huge animal fan, and we ran 3 free ads for them as well, so you can learn about the organization itself. So we're trying to do different things. Yeah, these are also, we're noticing they're being taught in schools, they're in libraries. That's a huge part for us as well. So
Excellent. All right, well, Darren, don't go anywhere. We're going to take another quick break, and then we will be right back.